So I want you to listen to this Judge
Bruh.
Napolitano recent interview in regards to Judge Moyet's biased ruling, if you will. Now let's just listen real quick.
She was actually incarcerated not for opening up the shop, but for defying his order to close the shop. The judge acknowledged that the governor does not have the authority to order her to close the shop, but he does.
There you go. He all she did was violate nothing because the governor doesn't have the authority to shut down. But since this judge is so got his fifis hurt and so butthurt that he decided to throw the book, if you will, at Miss Luther. Now let me go back to this popped up. Supreme Court of Texas orders release of jailed Texas stylist Shelley Luther. Now, this doesn't mean she's been released yet. It just means they ordered it. And from what I heard on this news article here, there's a news broadcast. It's going to take 2 to 4 hours, but that may not happen. I think it will, but let's see. Supreme Court of Texas ordered the release. She's currently in isolation and protective custody at the Lou Sterrett Justice Center. Justice. Jail is expected to release her Thursday afternoon. Texas Governor Greg Abbott modified his executive orders and eliminated confinement as a punishment for violating mandates. My previous video. Both Abbott and Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton voiced support for Luther on Wednesday. Paxton also commended the Supreme Court's decision, saying, quote, the Texas Supreme Court correctly addressed Miss Luther's excessive punishment and unnecessary jailing. No Texan should face imprisonment for peacefully resisting an order that temporarily closed a lawful business and drastically limited their ability to provide for their family through no fault of their own. There you go. That's it. State District Judge Eric Moye sentenced Luther. Oh, by the way, he's up for his fourth term for re-election this year. As I stated before, you should vote against whoever the person is that's running against him. I hope he's not running unopposed. I hope someone's running against this guy. He's a tyrant, and he's a terrible person, and he should feel ashamed, but he won't, like I said, because he's a Democrat. 7 days in jail earlier this week on contempt of court charges for disobeying a judge's temporary restraining order prohibiting her from operating her salon. Also, he basically said, just apologize and, just don't worry about your Fifth Amendment right to self-incriminate, because, whatever, don't worry about your Fifth Amendment rights because you don't need that pesky thing, do you? That's what Judge Moye would think about you. Throwing Texas in jail, who have had their businesses shut down through no fault of their own, is nonsensical and will not allow it to happen, he said earlier today. Now at the center of the national debate, Luther has garnered the support of Open Texas and other free speech advocates. The organizer of one of the groups set up a GoFundMe page, which has raised over $500,000. And then this happened back in April. Governor Abbott talked about this in his first statement. A tip, and how dare you snitch out to these women to the police, you vile, vicious human. A tip from the Laredo Police Department mobile app leads to 2 arrests of people violating the city's stay-at-home, work-safe orders. The investigation originated around tips of Wednesday, April 15th. Both of the alleged violators allegedly solicited customers online via social media. 2 undercover officers oh God, these officers are terrible too. I'm just doing my job. Pfft, yeah. You were just doing your job. Just following orders. Yeah. Working on the COVID-19 task force, enforcement made contact with each solicitor to set up an appointment for cosmetic beauty service that is prohibited under the emergency ordinance. Ordinance. It's not law. Police arrested 31-year-old Ana Isabel Castro Garcia at the 1200 block of Harding Street for she allegedly agreed to provide undercover officer with nail service. What a jerk. That she would be arrested for that, and the police are arresting for that. I'm just doing my job. I'm just following orders. Castro Garcia allegedly admitted that she was running a nail salon inside her house and promoting her business via social media. She was arrested and charged with violation of Emergency Management Plan, CB. Really? That doesn't sound like a lot to me. And transported to the Webb County Jail, where she was held on lieu of $500 bond set by Judge Dominguez. I'm going to check that guy out. He probably is another Democrat douchebag. In the second case, Brenda Stapley Mata, 20, was arrested in 1100 block of Hubner after she allegedly agreed to perform eyelash service inside her home to another undercover cop that was just following orders. Mata was arrested and charged with violation of the same thing that Garcia was and transported to the Webb County Jail. Police would like to remind the community that during the stay-at-home order, non-essential businesses, well, if it's a non-essential business, then when we get everything back up, then why, if it's not essential, then why let it run? Aha. Like not essential government workers. Like these cops should be terrible people. Shall remain closed, any of that. This is where he talked about both those women I just talked about. Both the violators independently solicited customers via social media. An undercover officer that was just doing their job and following orders. Douchebags. And then throwing Texas in jails. For though Castro and Garcia both faced punishment up to 180 days in jail for the violation, both were released on bond shortly after the arrest. It may also ensure that other Texans like Annabelle Castro Garcia and Brenda Stephanie Mata, who were arrested in Laredo, should not be subjected to confinement, as some county judges advocated for releasing hardened criminals from jail to prevent the spread of COVID-19. It is absurd to have these business owners take their place. Exactly. And that is my update for day 54. Like I said, police that they're saying, I'm just doing my job, I'm just following orders. They're violating their oath. If they're violating the Constitution, they're violating their oath. But you know what? Qualified immunity, these cops, nothing will happen to them. They'll run scot-free and violate other people's rights because they're just doing their job. That's another Day 54 update.
This is Sparta!